Awesome. So thank you everyone for being on tonight at Monday Night Ignite. This is our last Monday Night Ignite of July of 2022. Unbelievable, actually. But we are super excited tonight as we have Dr. Mary Carter, Starr Carter, here again tonight. She was on last week for our business call, which was fantastic. And we got to hear from her, which is always a blessing for sure. But tonight, our chiropractor turned Young Living Diamond and coach has a very busy life with her hubby, Jay, especially when he falls off bikes like mine does. But traveling with 2 kids, moving around the country. I still think you live in California. That might have been 2 or 3 moves ago. So we're super happy to have you with us tonight. And Mary will be sharing her terrifically successful journey of releasing 50 pounds of weight that she was done with. So how fantastic, because tonight she's going to teach us 5 things that will help us lose weight with products that can support healthy weight management. So I love to hear you teach, Mary. I learn something every single time. And that's because you have a huge heart for helping everyone you come in contact with. So thank you for being here tonight. And the floor is all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danette. I'm so excited to be here with such incredible women. You, Stacy, Bethany, you are just such powerhouses, both in business and in health. And I just got to give Stacy's book a plug. Loving this book. If you don't have this, this has got some, you can just go more in depth of what I'm going to share tonight and some of the things that I've done. Living Balanced by Stacy Kimbrell. Someone can put a link in the comments there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to right to the fat facts here. Let's go. Here we go. I want you to look at this picture and tell me what you see. Obviously, on the left, there's an obese person, and on the right, a normal weight person. What are some things that you see? Maybe I can magnify it for everyone. Hopefully you can see it, the big screen here. Write in the chat, what are some things, or come off of mute and just shout it out. Our country is in serious trouble. If you're looking for a reason right now to share health, you need to. Before COVID, 70% of us, women and men, were overweight or obese. After COVID, it's gotten even worse. In fact, I think it's 2030, I have a slide coming up that my state that I live in, Mississippi, and some of your states, more than 60% won't just be overweight, they will be obese. This is a serious, serious issue. And if you look at this picture, I didn't hear anyone, but that's okay. What I see here, obviously, is a lot of decrease in joint space. I'm a chiropractor, so I'll tell you a little bit about that. I see decrease in joint space in the knees. I see some bowing of the knees as well, some pressure in the hips. And we all know when we carry 10, 20, 50, 100 extra pounds, this is a painful condition. It looks like some enlargement around the fat or around the heart, and a lot of old poop in that colon. Increased size of the liver. I bet you they have a fatty liver. Just obesity is a very serious issue, and I wanted you to see it from the inside, kind of the inside out. All right. Well, let's go back to my screen here. Let's see if I can get out of here and come here. So this is a little bit of my visual picture story. Maybe you saw some of that as well. My name is Mary Starr Carter. If we've never met before, I'm a retired chiropractor who's been overweight since I was a kid. I was 9 years old, over 100 pounds, which back in the 1980s was actually very unusual, not unusual today. I grew up with 2 parents who worked, so I'd come home from school, I'd raid everything in the fridge, everything carbohydrate, everything, like those American slices of cheese, chocolate chip bags. We would open them, me and my friends. And once we were done at my house, we would go to the neighbor's house next door and we would eat. And then we would have, regular sized dinner as well. So I was always the biggest kid in the class. And my mom struggled with her weight too. She's been in Weight Watchers as long as I can remember, been overweight. And then in my teen years, right around when I was 17, I started in Weight Watchers with some friends and did slowly and take some weight off. I wasn't an athletic kid and never played sports until later in high school, and that a little bit in college. And that exercise, I believe, with the poor diet actually helped maintain my weight almost at a normal weight. But when I got deeper into college and then to chiropractic school, studying, staying awake with sodas and sugar, and even though I was in a health profession, I wasn't healthy. And it was in chiropractic college where I actually found Young Living. It was a very dark time in my life. I remember I was failing out of school at the time. My parents were going through an awful divorce. And it just felt like the world was crushing me. And my doctor friend, she said, you need to meet this lady, Kathy. And Kathy was this bright, passionate mom with these little bottles of oils. She said were miracles in a bottle. And I was like, okay, she's up from sunup to sundown. Her family is so healthy. She looks so healthy. I got to try these. And my first essential oil that I tried was Valor, because they said it was a chiropractor in a bottle back then. And one of my buddies who I actually used it on, he said, I slept better than I've ever slept in my life. What is in this? What is in this oil? And so I had to learn and I had to know. And I got such good results with Valor and Peace and Calming and Lavender that I stopped failing out of school. I started sleeping. It was like this crushing weight came off of me and like a light bulb came on in my life. And I had to share. I had to do this. So when I started my chiropractic clinic, everyone got oils, and I was helping so many people. And I saw my really specialized in women, a lot of women who were overweight. They had conditions like fibromyalgia. They had conditions like um, celiac conditions, inflammatory conditions, diabetes, sugar addiction. Like that's when I really started helping people who had weight issues. And we were having really, really good results. But I myself was not living a healthy life. I didn't get that balance, right? I was this health advocate or brand partner for Young Living, but I had let my own health go. And by the time I was 40, I was obese. And that was after kids and all of that too. But I found myself at 40 being obese. So tell me, you can tell me or tell me in the chat, how many of you have maybe like me struggled with weight your whole life? How many of you, maybe you didn't have a weight problem till you had kids? I've had over 6 miscarriages too. So I had almost 5 years of being pregnant. So a lot of hormonal stuff with that too. Or maybe you started having weight when you started with having some dis-ease in your life, and maybe you were prescribed things like allergy medicines, antidepressants, or there's so many common drugs that actually a side effect is weight gain or trouble losing weight later on. So I'm sure some of you can relate to some of my story and maybe some of you won't, but I promise you, if you have an open mind tonight, you take just maybe one nugget. I'm sure there's here something for everyone who really wants to have the best health, not just lose the weight. So we are going to give you, what are we going to give you here? We've got so that's my journey. This is another kind of visual picture of myself. And later I'm going to talk to you. This picture on the right, I never even imagined. In fact, I have a picture over here in my early 20s. Me and some friends got into triathlons and I was pretty fit. I was pretty fit back then, but I never imagined this body. That I had this inside of me. And I want to encourage you, no matter if you're 100 pounds overweight or 50 pounds or 80 or whatever, 10 pounds, that you probably maybe need to work on that piece. And that was coming up later in my talk, but I want to encourage you on that as well. So tonight, 5 important pieces to healthy weight release and maintaining a healthy weight, and 5 missing pieces to your weight loss and management plan. And vision is one of those missing pieces. Now, I'd love to give you everything I possibly have in my head, but it cannot do that. So I have a YouTube channel that we did a longer weight loss class that you can find there. It's called Dr. Mary Starr Total Wellness Doc. Dr. Mary Starr Total Wellness Doc. Maybe somebody can put that in the comments. So we talked to you about 70% of Americans. And look at this. Look at your state. Where's your state going to be by 2030? Will it be 60% obese, 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%? Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. That's why you as a brand partner, if you are struggling with working your business, grab onto this mission. Grab on to the mission that so many people are going to be in a state of disease, that dis-ease, right? Uncomfortableness, being overweight, that they are going to need what we have. And I'm going to talk about some of the things we have in Young Living that will help you. Okay, so let's start with step one of my weight loss journey. And actually, before we do that, let's look at another picture. So this is back in 2012, before I had my daughter. I was able to lose weight, and this is on the Sleek program, if any of you are familiar with the Sleek program. And I have lost and gained weight, not 50 pounds. I've always had a set point, I guess, at 150. I am about 20 pounds less than that today, 20 to 25 pounds less than that today. But I love the Sleek program. It was great. And that combined with exercise was very phenomenal for me. And I'm sure you have some trainings on that as well. But let's talk about food, because food is so important to our health, and you can't out supplement, you can't out Young Living what you eat. So I'm going to tell you what I ate, how much, and when. Okay. I'm also going to tell you, when I was younger, I got fat from eating a poor diet, lots of carbohydrates, dairy products, cheese, candy, soda. But when I got older, I got fat on overeating good food, like clean meats, sweet potatoes, avocados, nuts, shake, salad, Ezekiel bread. Most of the days of the week, I would eat those foods, and then maybe some junk food, a few on the weekend or a couple times a month. And we're going to talk about something called the focus phase and the freedom phase. And that too will be one of those tips and tricks that you don't hear too often. But in my focus phase of weight loss, I specifically found this eating program. And I wasn't following a diet. I was actually retraining my mind and body to eat healthy, nourishing food that was appropriate for me. So what did I eat? I didn't eat processed foods. I didn't drink alcohol. Ironically, I never drank alcohol until right before this. I would just have like one or two drinks a week or something like that. And I was like, wow, I can see when I first started my weight loss program, maybe you do wine or something like that, that would be a hard thing to give up. But more and more people, I have a girlfriend, she's very small, but she just had a little bit of extra weight, and just giving up wine alone, she dropped 7 pounds. 7 pounds. Wow. Just that one glass of wine every night. You'll see in a second, it's what I ate, but let me save that. Okay. So my body needed every day so that my body could burn some fat and get its energy. I ate from a list of foods categorized into proteins, carbohydrates, vegetables, fruits, and fats. And I will give out this list or this PowerPoint. Oop, why am I stuck? There we go. Okay, so I had these cute little containers that you can get on Amazon that help me to, some people like to use scales and things like that, but how much I was eating was very important to me, because I didn't realize how much I was overeating. I would cook a meal for my family and eat almost all my proteins before we even sat down for dinner, right? I didn't realize how much carbohydrates I was really getting in my diet. So I'd have 4 servings of proteins every day, which is about 3/4 cup or 4 ounces, 2 carbohydrates, which is a half a cup. Most of us put a cup of rice, right? Or 2 cups of rice in our meal, or a cup of oatmeal, or 2 slices of bread for a sandwich. And that's just one of the carbohydrates we would eat in a day. But I would limit myself. Now, this does not go into keto. I would still have, a good amount of carbohydrates every day. But for me, I did so much better with this. I had 2 fruits, 4 vegetables, and the list goes on. Now, last week, Dr. Doug Corrigan talked to us about healing the gut first, right? He talked to us about the microbiome. And the reason I think this program was really beneficial for me, because it made me eat 4 vegetables a day, because I realized I really wasn't eating 4 vegetables, right? And I've done a lot of different programs and things, but on everyday eating, I wasn't getting 4 cups of greens in. I wasn't getting the veggies in. And researchers at the American Gut Project found that people who ate more than 30 different plant foods each week had more diverse gut microbiome compared to those who ate 10 or fewer. So that's a little tip there too, because yeah, you might eat the same thing every day, but if you were eating 30 different, right? And plants can be fruits, they can be vegetables, they can be nuts, they can be coconut, all of those things too. And then our Ninja Greens. So let's talk a little bit about what Young Living has in terms of meals replacements and all of that. When I was doing this program, I started out with the pure protein when I first started to lose weight. But for me, my body was sensitive to the whey, and I couldn't do the whey, and I couldn't do the Balance Complete, and I couldn't always get Sleek in stock. So I had to go to another company's protein, which was okay, but it had sugar in it. And I have a skin issue that you might be able to see in one of my pictures that never went away. Even after all the 50 pounds that I lost, it never went away because I had constantly been giving myself sugar, cane sugar, every single day and feeding the yeast in my body. Then what happened just at convention? I'm so excited about our pure protein came back, right? Our pure protein, or excuse me, Power Meal. What am I saying? Power Meal, Power Meal. Pure protein is a great product for those of you who can have it, and I'll talk to you about that. So that can be one of my proteins every single day. Let me keep going here so you can look at my eating list too. So another thing that I found is when I was eating, particularly my carbohydrates too, if I had them in the morning and early afternoon, my body did much better energy wise. I didn't get tired. The scale went down more versus I would save my carbohydrates to nighttime. Okay. If I also ate between a 10 to 12 hour eating window, that was just perfect, and still is just perfect for me. Now, this is my journey, right? This is my journey. Some of you might do well with fasting and all those things. And if I had protein prior to a workout, we'll talk a little bit about that when I tell you about my fitness journey in a second. But this kind of timed how and what I ate. So what's that look like? Okay, and then I talked to you about food sensitivities. So I found out that whey was something that just didn't agree with me. I can still tolerate it to a point, but if I have it too many days in a row, I'll break out. I will cheeses too. I wake up with, hacking and inflammation, and my belly. I just had this weekend, I made enchiladas for my family. And although I had like gluten-free wraps and stuff, the cheese just didn't agree with my body. And it's just like overnight, my abs go away, right? This body that I work for can put on 3-5 pounds, depending how many days in a row I eat foods that I'm sensitive to. Doesn't mean those foods are bad for you, but it just means that you need to figure out for you. And then I did some allergy testing, and eggs were a big no-no for me. So I've eliminated them for a period of time. And then maybe as my body heals and my gut heals, I'll be able to bring them back in, right? Not allergic, just sensitive to them. So in the morning, let me come off of, uh, actually, no, we'll finish here and then I'll ask you if you have any questions about the food. Um, an example of my morning eating, okay, if I was lifting weights, I would have my shake. So you could have pure protein. I would recommend pure protein or a power meal for your shake, 30 minutes to an hour before you work out, maybe even an hour and a half if you're having, you know, whatever. But you can do that with a cup of nut milk. That's like almond milk or cashew milk. One of my favorites is macadamia nut milk that I get from Thrive Market. I love that. Some frozen fruit and a little water. What else could we add in there? Our ninja greens. In many mornings, I would make a breakfast pudding, which would have my nut milk, a half a sweet cooked sweet potato, and a cup of greens in there, along with the shake, right? And it was like the most delicious pudding. I just so I've switched over to the power meal, and I might add like a little cacao to that, but it's still so amazing. It's just I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But we can add our ninja greens now too. And if you're doing the ninja greens, I'm counting that I can substitute one, maybe a half to one of my veggies per day if I'm doing the ninja greens every day. Okay. Then after my workout, within 30 minutes, I'm going to have another protein shake. Pure protein is really nice there. Pure protein, or if you want to do some more power meal, that's really nice there too. And this is if you are lifting weights, like building muscles and getting fit. We'll talk about that. And then about an hour and a half later, I'd have a refuel meal like a turkey burger, sweet potato, ghee, steamed broccoli. Now, the reason I show this to you, because so many of my girlfriends who are struggling with their weight in Young Living, especially, like, I don't get it. I'm having my shake every morning. I'm doing this. But this having almost the majority of my containers, you could say, or a lot of my calories during this time helped me to change my body. It helped me to really build the muscle. And if I didn't do this, right, if I had fasted 14 to 16 hours, because there was some people that I did this program with, they didn't get the same results as me because they didn't do this type of time nutrition eating. And this is the one thing I was very religious on when I was lifting weights, which for me was several times a week. Now, if I was just eating like on a day that I was doing cardio or not working out at all, I would fast until after cardio. And then I do, some protein 30 minutes to an hour after the cardio, maybe with some frozen fruit, nut milk, or have my breakfast pudding, or I might have a turkey burger, turkey bacon. For you, it might be eggs because your body can tolerate eggs or whatever. It could be last night's dinner. Here's some examples of snacks that I would have throughout the day. Apple and nut butter. I'd have cucumbers, carrots, hummus, avocados with Ezekiel toast. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about avocados and cheese in a second. Paleo Valley beef sticks, another one of my favorite, with some veggies. Greek yogurt with our chocolate pure protein is really good together. That's a fabulous snack and counts as some of your proteins. Examples of lunches and dinner. And these, very simple. I chose simple diets. I'm a busy person, so I had to keep things very, very simple for me. I would make a batch of oatmeal. I would make my meats up. I'd cook up the sweet potatoes. I might make a chicken soup. So I was mostly cooking for 3 or 4 days at a time. And that's what worked for me and still is the most successful thing that I do. You can also use like romaine lettuce for your wraps. I liked turkey meat. I have some grass-fed beef that I have now that I really love too. And if you're doing whole grain wheat, like whole grain wheat tortillas, then you want to measure that at about 6 inches. So I would literally take the scissors and cut those out and have my food with that. All right, I'm gonna stop the share for a second. And I'm gonna just pin myself so I can see myself too. Because I want you to wrap your head around. I want you to wrap the head around this, because most of the patients that I've seen in practice, and maybe Danette can agree or disagree with this, is that I really found they were not eating enough. They were definitely not eating enough protein, but they weren't eating enough food, or they were constantly always in a metabolism crisis, because they weren't giving themselves enough of the good things. And we're going to talk about some of those other things. But having these little containers was super helpful to me. And I bought a bunch of them, just super helpful to me. But this one right here, the carbohydrate, if you can get this under control with your diet, especially those who are perimenopausal and postmenopausal, or I think this would be very appropriate to do. Again, I'm 47, I'm going through menopause, and this, for me, this eating plan was the best for me. But I want to show you this. This is a quarter cup. This is the fats. One of these a day. Now there's other fats, I'll tell you about them in a second. But this, a quarter of your avocado, like, right? We eat avocados, us healthy people, like they're going out of business. We eat cheese, those of you who love cheese, like it's going out of business, right? This is it, hummus, a quarter of a cup. So measuring those things out probably can fine tune for you if you're stuck and you want to change your health. This is my salad dressing, right? And I'm not having like Olive Garden ranch dressing in here. I'm having a healthier olive oil or something like that in my salad dressing. And then I would get 3 teaspoons of oil, like coconut oil or peanut butter or something like that. Or you could put your nuts, right? I think I got 8 or 9 walnuts for my fat for a day. I think it was 8 almonds or something like that, or cashews, right? That's it. That's a serving. How many of us would have our nuts like, move that? Okay. And I apologize again. I want to get through this content for you. So I got to move right along. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is water. If you want to lose fat, you needs to lots of water. Okay. One of the things we don't understand about losing weight and losing fat, if you think back to that picture, for an individual like my friend Matthew, who's lost over like 140 pounds this last year. That's right, you heard it right, 140 pounds. We all had to drink a gallon of water a day. A gallon of water a day, which like blows your mind, right? And some of my health practitioner friends might disagree with me, but for a fat cell to go through something called lipolysis, where that fat cell gives off its energy, it absolutely needs water. Water, water, water. And we would joke about this because, that was one of the more challenging things of going through this transformation, was getting all your water in, especially in the beginning. But those of us who are consistent with us, the scale always, always went down. Even on sometimes, like if I had fallen off the wagon or cheated, got out of focus phase or something like that and gained a little inflammation, if I was drinking my water, the inflammation could just flush right off of me. Because certain foods, right? Junk foods, sodas, candies, cookies, processed foods, that causes a lot of inflammation in the body. You eliminate those alone, you can lose 5, 10, some people 20 to 30 pounds, just eliminating those foods alone. So you absolutely need water. The other piece of this water cycle is that, the muscles, to heal the muscles when you are lifting weight, you're having a lot of protein. Protein needs water to digest. And that liver of yours, which is such an important part to your weight loss journey, your liver needs the water to do its job of detoxification. So 1 gallon of water a day. And if you're over 250 pounds, you may even want to increase that a little bit. But the great thing, what do we have in Young Living? Right? We've got our electrolytes. We've got loving those electrolytes with a little bit of caffeine in them. What else? I'll talk about amino wise and stuff like that in a second, but any of our vitality oils are phenomenal too. I think Dr. Doug, he recommended like grapefruit and lemon, some other great oils as well. So citrus fresh, right? For those of us who did the lymphatic flush, that was really important. All right, so this third most important thing in your weight loss journey, in my weight loss journey, was sleep. I was averaging maybe 6 or less hours of sleep a night. And I thought, well, that's fine, right? Gary Young, he lived on what, 4, was it, Danette? Like, not a lot of hours of sleep. But we humans, we need good sleep. Sleep, it helps improve our mental health, improves our immune system. So, so important. What else did I write about sleep? Your ability to manage stress. Lack of sleep is directly associated with depression. Cell and muscle growth to repair occurs during sleep. If you have any condition that's like an inflammatory condition, rheumatoids, arthritis, and stuff like that, your body needs to repair. And the two things that I feel that I really woke up to during this transformation were sleep. Well, 3: sleep, water, and protein. And I'll tell you a quick story about my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law was obese. She got COVID and she was in the hospital for 2 months on a ventilator. She got bed sores. So when she got better, which she did, when she started to get better, it was the bed sores that were debilitating. They were right to the bone. So by the time she got to my house, I was taking her to the wound care and they said, you need to have 100 grams of protein a day. And I said, oh, I know how to do that, right? Young Living's pure protein. Like we have tools that she liked that she could have every day. And do you know that wound nurse, she said, I've never seen this. This is such rapid healing. Now she was in her 40s or 50s. Most of the wound care people is in their 60s and 70s. But how cool is that diet and nutrition, right, can change your ability, your healing ability, and how quickly you can heal. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So back to sleep. If you want that scale to go down, you've got to get good sleep. And I'm going to just share a personal thing that on this journey, and maybe you can see my shirt here. It says, I love my body. Right? It says, I love my body. But on this journey, I learned to love myself before I loved what I looked like. I like learned to love myself enough to set up boundaries. I learned to love myself enough to ask for what I needed. In the beginning, the eating was hard for me. And I would like have to excuse myself from eating with my family because my family didn't, my husband didn't change the way he ate, right? He would bring home Taco Bell or pizzas. And that was really, really hard in the beginning when I was in that focus phase. So I set some boundaries. I would go in my room. I would eat dinner sometimes in my awesome bathroom. Like I would do that. And in fact, for sleep, my hubby snores. When he doesn't drink enough water or he's over a certain weight, he snores and it keeps me awake. And I would sleep on the couch or I'd ask him to go sleep on the couch. And a year prior, 2 years, I would just be annoyed and like just have all this frustration about it. But just asking for what I wanted in a nice way, it's shifted so much. So me getting good quality sleep, now getting 7 hours, 6.5 of a sleep hours, 7 to 8 hours, it's just phenomenal. It will change your life if you get good quality sleep. Put in the chat a product you love for good quality sleep from Young Living. Oh yeah. Immune Pro is great. Immune Pro can get you to sleep, but what keeps you asleep is having good balanced blood sugar too. Do you know I I have seen woman after woman, especially in the perimenopausal, that Ninja Red, like they'll wake up and they'll take Ninja Red. For some of us, it excites us. For others, it just helps to balance the blood sugar and it'll help you get a good night's sleep. Some people take it before bed. Cedarwood, frankincense, all the wonderful oils. Yeah, phenomenal. Rutavala, really, really good one. Oh, another red before bed. Yep, absolutely. Okay, let's go to our next slide. All right, what's our next slide here? Exercise. All right, we got to talk about it. You know, it's a serious thing. And I think for me, when I did the sleep challenge, I incorporated fitness, weightlifting, and exercise. And this time around too, I worked a program. And the CDC, the Center of Disease and Control, says we need 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity every week, right? A lot of specialists and things say we need to exercise 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week. 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week. And 2 times per week, we should be doing muscle strength training activities. Now, let's keep going. What does that look like? What are types of moderate intensity aerobic activities? Because a lot of people say to me, and a lot of patients would come like, I'm walking 5 miles a day. I'm not losing weight. I was losing weight. I'm not losing weight anymore. And that moderate intensity aerobic activity, and I personally think too, the changing up of exercise is really important. So for my past 15 years, I have worked with personal trainers. I've done Pilates reformer training. Like I've spent thousands of dollars to work with individuals who have helped me to stay strong. But what I found is that it's expensive, but needed. And a lot of times if you're brand new, you need a coach, you need someone who can walk you through exercises and doing them correctly and right, till you can run on your own. But I really needed something that was 6 days a week. And I needed for me, the motivation of that too. So when I did that sleep challenge, I was doing something called like Chalene Extreme, but there's a lot of things on YouTube and things that you can get. But for me, I'm just going to share with you what I did. So the weightlifting and cardio programs, I've done 21 Day Fix. I have done Lift 4. I have, what's that walking in the very beginning, the walking program, what's her name? Kathy something or other, walking. And I've been doing exercises since Jane Fonda days, right? I have been doing a myriad of things. But for me, if you're brand new, and you've got a lot of pain issues, you got to get in a pool. You got to find something to do. There's so many things out there. We could do a whole class on this, and I want to keep going and stuff too. But when I got down to my goal weight, I had another individual was telling me, oh yeah, I weigh such and such. And I looked at her and we're about the same height. And she looked totally different. She had a real paunchy stomach, her shoulder, like everything. I was like, wow, this is what strength training did for me. It really changed the way I looked, right? Now, let me show you my friends, Andy and Peggy. These are grandparents, right? These are grandparents. He lost 70 pounds. That they are hardcore. They love to lift weights. This is keeping them young. It's helped their marriage. It's helped their libido. I mean, this is what I believe either body weight exercises or lifting weights can do for you. Absolutely. Right? This is my transformation. All right. Next up, we got to keep moving. So the fifth thing that I did that a lot of you probably have done in the past is I tracked and I monitored. And I started with my Fitbit. Okay, so this is a watch. Maybe you have an Apple Watch or something like that. But this can track how many steps you take in a day. It was important for me. I didn't realize, like, in the beginning, in the way beginning of my weight loss journey, I was only like walking 4,000 steps a day some days. That's not good, right? The goal is to get up to 10,000 steps a day if we can. This Fitbit too can track my sleep. So I actually could see, like, if my husband was really dehydrated and I knew it, and I slept with him all night, I could see that I was awake more during the night and I felt more like impatient during the day. I didn't feel very rested. So the Fitbit can help you look at your sleep. I think there's something called like a something ring too that can track your weight. We have a scale, I think it's called Aria, like our diffuser, a scale where it goes right into my phone so I can look at that. And let's just talk about scales for a second. A lot of people don't believe in weighing themselves every day, but for me, and for me to determine what foods that I'm sensitive to really fine tune my journey, the scale was simply a tool. I had to let go of the results per se, and I simply used it as a tool. So if I went up by a pound, or I was like, yeah, I really feel like I should be less. Oh yeah, I didn't get a good night's sleep last night. Or yeah, I've done two hard workouts in a row and I haven't got my water in, and I haven't been using my BLM to flush out, to feel better. You know the word I want to say, but really, really important to track and monitor, right? And I also would have a plan of what I'm doing day to day. One of the slides that I forgot to put in here is I have this t-shirt. It says play to win, plan to win, prepare to win, and protect your wins. Write that down. Play to win, plan to win, prepare to win, and protect your wins. And what do I mean by that? My mindset of going into my transformation was that I was going to release 50 pounds. Even before I got involved in what's called the biggest transformation, I knew I wanted to lose 50 pounds. Now, I had said that for 4 years, right? 4 or 5 years. I said I want to lose 50 pounds, but I knew starting in 2021, I was so committed to losing 50 pounds. I was tired of feeling sick and tired. I was tired of being obese and still be in pregnancy pants. I was like going up in the scale. I was tired, physically, emotionally, spiritually tired of holding on to that weight. And just for those of you who love the Lord talked to me about it. He said, "You've gotten comfortable." He said to me, he said, you've got to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and train yourself, because I wanted to grow my business at the same time. And he told me that until I can develop the discipline of my habits and my body, that I wouldn't see that growth. So from January 2021 to October, December, when I got my results, I worked this. But in a very short amount of time, in about 4 or 5 months, I was so much stronger mentally, physically, that when some crisis happened within our family or extended family, and I had to be a caretaker for both my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law for months at a time, I could handle it because I had the discipline in my own life. I was physically strong. I was mentally strong, and I could handle it. And I just can't not tell you enough how these, and I got off track here, but if you plan to win and you prepare to win with these steps, right? You have to prepare. You have to prepare your food. You have to have a meal plan. Just like in business, you're in a focus phase. Richard Brooks teaches is a 4 year to career. I know I'm running into business here, but 4 years, if you're focused for 4 years, you can move into the freedom. You know, there's so much joy in being consistent, and consistency compounds in weight loss and business and everything. All right. So lastly, let me wrap it up with the 5 things. So you might be saying right now, okay, Mary, I've done all that in the past. Why didn't I keep the weight off? Why didn't it work for me? Well, did you have these 2 things? Number 1 and 2. Did you have community and accountability? Did you have community and accountability? Right? In my biggest transformation, one of the keys for me is that I was doing this with a group. I was doing this with a group. So and I've noticed too in the past, I've been a part of some young living groups and things like that. It's really fun. But when you tie that with accountability, we had a weigh in on Marco Polo every week. We had an accountability weigh in where, it was we were a group of 8, right? It was 1 through 8. So you knew where you went 1, 2, 3, where did you go up this week? There was this accountability. So for those of you who like challenges, that was really fun too. We made deep friendships. That piece was really phenomenal. I was part of something called the Biggest Transformation, which I do highly recommend. My friend Carmen O'Quinn, she also works with Destiny Global. Destiny Global is like a training company for business, finance, relationships. But aside from that I will share, she lost 160 pounds herself using these tools. And then she knew that teaching people about focus phase and freedom phase, okay? When you're in focus phase, you're in focus. There is no cheat meal unless we lost 5 pounds, right? If we once every 5 pounds, we could have a cheat meal, or no, not a meal, a cheat item. That's another mistake most people make is they focus good on the wheat and then they have the wine, the cheat, like they have a cheat meal. And that will really slow down your weight loss progress. If you want to go fast, in business, you've got to focus consistently over time. Doesn't mean that, accidents can't happen, you fall off the wagon, whatever. You get back on track, you dust off your feet, you go. And then you get into freedom phase. And the wonderful thing about freedom phase in the weight loss world is that when you're at that and you've trained these habits, you're not binging anymore. You're not going back to a life. It's not a diet. You've trained your habits. So if I want to go to a wedding and I want to have whatever, I can, because I know how to get back to where I want to be, right? If I want to go out on a date night or have a lot of dinners or a couple dinners out this week, I know how to do it in the freedom phase. Okay, next. Do you have a vision for your health? Can you see where you want to go? And for me, this was another big piece for me because I always had this like set point, right? I always had that picture of me doing the sleep challenge and I can only get to this amount of weight. But what Carmen really helped open my eyes to was that, or do we have a vision for where we're going? And same thing in business, right? So I would put pictures up in my bathroom of jeans I wanted to wear someday, button up jeans with a belt. Oh my gosh, that was such a great day when I could wear a belt and tuck my shirt in. Oh, it was awesome. But then you get to a place and you're like, oh, wait, I'm here. Where else do I want to go? So I'll just share with you. This is just my vision. Doesn't have to be yours. I'm not going to be a UFC fighter, but I just love her muscles. And that's like my vision to get there someday, right? I want to train. I want to be able to do some pull-ups, all those. Okay. And the last thing here that was so pivotal to a lasting weight loss journey is doing the deep work on the journey to greater health. What's that? That's healing emotionally and spiritually. It's healing trauma. It's healing your poor habits of emotional eating. It's forgiving yourself or maybe forgiving others. It's literally changing your DNA. And I remember Kathy Farmer years ago when she had she's like a Royal Crown Diamond with Young Living, when she had her big weight loss change and she got into lifting weights and her health thing, she said to me, she said, I always had a lot of weight on to because I used that as a like a protecting, almost like a cushion, because I was always helping so many people and it was hard for me to set boundaries. So food and having that extra weight for her. Now, that may not make sense to you, but it made a lot of sense for me because I have a personality where I guess I'm more very compassionate, and I'm a personality that loves to help everyone. And I, prior to learning skills, I can get hurt easily, all of that. So extra weight for me, or eating the McDonald's drive-through when I would finish a class, like that, that was my way of grounding. Was my way of like feeling, oh, okay, because people have a lot of hurts, physical and emotional. And when you are doing this as a business sometimes, or just want to help others, that can be a hard thing to balance. So really digging into your habits and how you deal with that, and all of that. So I will cut that off. What I'll leave it on is you can change your health, you can change your future. I've changed so much, in just 1 year's time. I feel like a brand new person. I feel so amazing and so good. And I want this change for everyone. But I know there's three types of people watching right now. There's some of you who are like, we're just curious, want to see what I did, hear something else. And thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. On my YouTube channel, there is some more information available there for you. I did a whole almost 2-hour class on weight loss. You can go there. The second type of person is like, yes, I'm ready to make some health changes. I'm take some weight off. I'm ready. For you, what I want you to do is go back through that list and write down in the chat, tell me where you're going to start. Are you going to start drinking your water? Are you going to look for a personal trainer or a fitness program? I forgot to mention T-TAP. I like T-TAP too for those of you just starting out. Look into that for fitness. Where are you going to start? And the third type of person is like, okay, Mary, I'm all in. I know I need the discipline up here. I need to change this. I need to change everything. If that's you, let's connect. You can reach out to me. I don't know. Let me give you my email: info at Starr, Starr health.com, info at Starr, Starr health.com. I don't answer immediately. Don't think I do. But if you are like, have to make all of those changes, I can help direct you in a few things that'll be helpful for you. But I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope that you grasp some things. You know how awesome all the things in Young Living that we have. I was like screaming at convention when this came out, screaming. I am so, so happy about this. Phenomenal. Anyone who has cancer, right? Because they can't have sugar. Can't have sugar in their diet. This is awesome. I'm not saying it's curing cancer. I'm saying this is really good for someone to get protein in their diet. All right. So, Danette, Stacy, what do I do now?
Hey, friends, that was so good, Mary. I had to turn off my thing so I wasn't, screenshotting and doing that with you, taking lots of notes. So thank you very much. That was amazing. I am going to ask you one question because I've seen it. Did you do in your plan Ningxia, sulfurzyme, golden turmeric, any of those things?
Okay, so yeah, if you work out like I chose to work out in some of the seasons of my weight loss, you're absolutely going to need those products. So Ninja Red counts, 4 ounces of Ninja Red counts for 1 fruit. That's in my plan. That's what I did. So 4 ounces of Ninja Red's 1 fruit. Then I'd have like a green apple or something too. So for me, BLM is like my best friend. A lot of people love sulfurzyme. Sulfurzyme is good. Everybody loves sulfurzyme. Sometimes me and the FOS, the powder sulfurzyme, not so good. The other sulfurzyme, very good. The capsules. sulfurzyme, golden turmeric, and who gave the recipe about golden turmeric, collagen? I don't know. And Agiles. Agiles is really, really good too if you don't want to wake up crampy. Epsom salt baths. I know there's some. Oh, I totally forgot about enzymes. Okay, so when you use, I'll be quick. When you start eating like this, even though you're having good veggies, I was a constipated person. I had to have Comfortone and ICP. So with my recovery drink, so my protein after I worked out, put the ICP daily in that, mix that up, drink that down. Okay, that'll be helpful. And then for those of you who are really struggling with the protein, then, well, we all need the enzymes. Essential Zyme 4, Essential Zyme, 2 of my best friends through this. Absolutely, like that's a must. Ninja Red's a must. I forget to talk about it because it's just part of my lifestyle. It's your foundational wellness. So anything you can do to get started, start with Ninja Red. It'll build your foundational wellness to give you enough energy, motivation, and stuff. Start there. Then add your veggies, build up your gut microbiome. Essential Zymes, Comfortome, ICP, Sulfurzyme, BLM, Agiles. Now the collagen. Oh yeah, because I started getting wrinkles when I lost all this weight. So I had used like another like cheap collagen, got a little bit of results, but the new collagen, oh my goodness. You add that to your shakes too. That's phenomenal. And of course the Ninja Greens too. We can use that as a veggie cheat.
I'm sure you love the Mega Cal. Do you or?
Yes. Okay. Good point too, because I was sweating a lot and Mega Cal at night. Otherwise I would get like muscle cramps and stuff too. So Mega Cal was really good. Super Cal. I don't want to overcomplicate it for people. So Ninja Red is a must. Your enzymes are the second thing. And then you base on your health, what other things you're going to use.
A couple of questions we had is about, you said in the beginning about your PowerPoint here. We have given your YouTube link as well, and you said you have a handout. So if those are things that you do have, then for everybody, whatever Dr. Carter is gonna have available for us, we will make sure that when this link is posted and grow, we'll have those attachments there as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll put the PowerPoint on a web link and then they can have that
Okay.
as well.
Perfect. You can send it to Jill or myself or Danette.
Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I'm a little over spastic about this, but I'm just so incredibly, you think you start feeling good when you first start using Young Living, you feel phenomenal. Just wait when you incorporate the whole lifestyle. It's just awesome. Just awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mary. And I wrote it down, make sure you guys, I saw a few specific questions. We're out of time, but you can info@Starr, that's 2 R's, starrhealth.com, right? That's right. Good. Thank you so much, Mary. This and last week, like perfect combo. It's as if it's planned or something. So, so we sure appreciate you tonight. Thank you for sharing your journey and all that, your own personal journey speaks to everybody here, right? Every different part speaks to somebody. So we really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.